Hi, this is Rachel back again for another episode of the Yarn Equals Joy podcast. Honestly, I cannot believe this is the 20th episode. Here's the board with all the details. This is Yarn Equals Joy. Today is May 10th, 2020. Still involved in the quarantine for the pandemic, unfortunately. And it is Mother's Day in the US, so happy Mother's Day to all of you moms watching. And I know that it's a bittersweet Mother's Day for me, being apart from all my kids who are all over the world at this moment. And I'm sure that many of you are in a similar boat. So sending love and wishes to you that you just find a way to celebrate your motherhood in maybe a less traditional way this year. I have Joan Mag bags on Etsy, although there's not much activity there, maybe this summer. I'm a teacher, so in the summer sometimes I have more time for things like that. Rachely Book Girl on Instagram and Rachely on Rav. And if you want to contact me, I would love to hear from you. I'm really appreciative of all of you who watch and leave notes and comments and give it a thumbs up and subscribe and all of that. It really is just a little tiny podcast right now, and it just means a lot that anybody's watching. I do it to sort of involve myself in a bigger way in the larger knitting community. I think that's the easiest way to describe why I do it. I also love that it keeps a record of all my makes, because I do tend to be a big gift knitter. And give a lot of things away. And this is a segue. I don't think my cousin watches this, but if she does, she needs to turn it off now, because I'm talking about my one and only FO, and it is this very pretty light lacy scarf. This is our shawl. This is the Radiance shawl by Helen Stewart, and I will take it off and show you in all its glory. You can see it is very, very lacy. It's a nice size. And you're right, you didn't see this before because this has been cast on since the last podcast. So it was a really quick knit, even though it doesn't look like it possibly could be, which is really fun. It has a lovely sort of picot edge, which you can see. It has all this lace and mesh, and it is made out of Farmer's Daughter fibers, her Moon Sisters base, which has some like bronze stellina in it, which I'm not sure you're seeing all the sparkle. It's in kind of a burgundy color, and there's a big story to this yarn. I picked it up at Candace's, who is the dyer behind Farmer's Daughter's fibers. She had a retreat in Montana, which I went to, and my friend Stephanie, hey Steph, if you're watching, has made a million Millie sweaters and was trying to get me to make one too. And I picked out that yarn and I started it ages ago, and it just sat there. And I thought it was sitting there because I'm not really a sweater knitter. I'm not as comfortable knitting sweaters, and maybe that's why it sat there. But the more I thought about it, and I looked at it about a month ago, and just to figure out what was going on, and I realized that that particular yarn is a very thin sort of construction, and at the gauge that it was being knit for this sweater, it did not seem to me to have enough sort of structure that I would feel comfortable wearing it as a sweater. And so I realized it really didn't make sense to finish it. So I unraveled it, and that's when I got the idea. My cousin had said she really likes this color, burgundy or maroon is one of her colors. And it's not really one of my colors. I'm kind of surprised that I bought it, and we'll talk more about colors and stash later on in this episode, because I have a lot to say about online ordering. But this I did in person, and it is beautiful, but it is not really my color. So I'm thrilled to be able to surprise her and send it to her, and I think that, it's certainly a shawl that can be worn, the traditional way around one's shoulders, but I think also, the other way, that it's really stunning and would be, really pretty too, and warmth, on on a winter day, or kind of over a sundress the other way for summer. So hopefully she will find lots of use for it. I have a confession. There's a major mess up in this shawl. I got off on the lace, and when I saw what was happening, I didn't really know how to fix it without starting all over, and I didn't know exactly what had gone wrong. And then I decided, you know what? It fractured the straight lace pattern, and it's not less pretty, it's just a different pattern. And right now things are different and they are fractured, and real life is sort of split apart and reconfigured in odd ways, and that's okay. That's what we have. So maybe it's me rationalizing, maybe it's me making lemonade out of lemons. I don't know, but I blocked it and I'm fine with it. You can see that the lace is all ziggy on that side and kind of all straight on that side. It's a big mistake if you're a knitter. Many of you you're probably shaking in your boots. You can't believe I left it in, and I am completely fine with it. You don't notice it when it's on, and even if you notice it, it's a pretty lace. It's just a different lace than the straight lines. So you can let me know what you think. Be gentle. Life's tough right now. But hopefully my cousin will love it and wear it and enjoy it. And that's the purpose, right, of sharing what we knit. Okay, so now on to whips. I have another brand new whip because that's what this is all about, casting on things. It is super bright, and I obviously wanted something very cheerful. It is the Bits and Bobs blanket, the Bits and Bobs blanket by Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears. I made mine a little less wide than the pattern, so I think I cast on like 150 instead of 180 stitches or something like that, because I knew it would be a baby blanket. It is extremely squishy. It looks and feels a little like brioche. I think it's called Fisherman's Rib. I had tried it once before and I felt like I just couldn't make it work. I got off. And the same thing happened this time. I started it and I was like, what is wrong with me? Other people are making this. But you just have to trust that it's gonna look the way it's gonna look after you get going. For some reason, the first few rows just looked wonky to me, but it was all fine. It's really easy, and I cannot tell you enough how squishy and lovable this blanket is. I think it would be every child's, lovey, every child's favorite blanket, and I'm gonna probably make a ton of these. So right now I am holding 2 strands double, which is I think what the pattern calls for. This is, let me get this right. Lolo did it in the Sunglasses Not Included. That's that really, really crazy bright neon-y yellow, which I absolutely love. And then just scraps and odds and ends, and I have a huge stash, so I did wind up some balls, and it just has this really fun look. And I think because of the yellow, this could be a boy or a girl blanket. I don't think it's really gender specific, but it is bright and fun, and you're not gonna lose this at the playground because it's gonna jump right out at you. And I'm really, really loving working on that. It's a fun project to have, really easy to pick up in between classes and know each row's the same once you know the pattern, super memorizable. And it's great. So that is a whip that's been really fun. Mostly I have been working on the Radiance shawl, the maroon shawl that I showed you, and it's just, other than my major muck up, it's a huge fun shawl to make, and I love making shawls. So my next project you've seen before, and I've made a little bit of progress on it. It is my pattern, my own pattern called Brooklyn Bound. It's the scarf with 3 colors of blue sky fiber in extra, which is a 55 baby alpaca, 45 merino blend that is super chunky and squishy, and you can see it has this crazy great honeycomb texture, which makes it absolutely glorious, and it is the most cozy scarf, but my son is tall and he wants it really, really long, so I'm still working on it. But this will be a gift for next birthday or Hanukkah. His birthday's in December, so there's no rush. No one's wanting this kind of warmth right now in New York, but he lives in Brooklyn, so it's called Brooklyn Bound because that's where this scarf will be headed, and I'm really, really proud of it. I think it will be a piece that he wears for years and years and hopefully loves. So that is Brooklyn Bound. What am I doing? I have yarn all over me. Oh, that's why. I have yarn wrapped around me. Okay. So that, oh, here is the Helen Stewart pattern that shows you a different look of the Radiance shawl. And I could see making this again. Be a little more careful with the lace, but I could see making it again in maybe a yarn that was a little thicker or squishier, or this yarn is, it's really sort of it almost feels cottony in some ways. It's like, it feels like the perfect summer or spring shawl. It would be a gorgeous like wedding shawl in an off-white linen or cotton, I think. I don't know, but I have a story about this yarn because I loved working with this yarn for a shawl. I don't know that I would love it for a garment. As I said, it was originally the Millie sweater, and I ended up pulling it out because it just didn't feel like it was going to sit right for me, for my taste as a garment. Sorry, I have yarn all over me in my mouth. Ick. Okay, so we've done FOs, we've done whips. That's all that I'm going to show. Definitely not all that I have on the needles, because as you know, I still have the Stephen West squiggle wiggle what, or whatever that's called. And I have the baby blanket with the chevrons, and I have a lot of stuff. By the way, no babies that I know of. Two reasons I'm making baby blankets. One, because I love making things for babies, and blankets are fun and easy and squishy and good gifts. And two, I don't know, call me psychic, but I think there are going to be a lot of babies born in late 2020, early 2021, due to this social isolation. I think that people who, you know, are home and in that age range are probably going to be making some babies. I don't know. So I'm thinking my son's friends who are married, maybe ones who aren't, will be having babies, and I will have a whole boatload of baby blankets to send out into the world with lots of love. So that seems like a good thing. Okay. Crazy on the stashing the joy today. I should be working from stash. I could be working from stash. I would be working from stash, and I am. Like this, the Radiance shawl, that was stash, right? That was actually a great kind of stash because it allowed me to finally make a decision about a whip that was not getting any love, and rip it out and turn it into something that is glorious and that will hopefully bring a lot of joy to my cousin. Okay, so I have been going, oh, I do have one new cast on. I forgot about that. So many of you are aware that Casapinka, the lovely designer Casapinka, donated a shawl, Breathe and Hope. I love the title, the name of the shawl, Breathe and Hope. And it was donated as a gift to LYS, local yarn stores, to be able to, you know, give it out free with, you know, 2 skeins of yarn that someone purchased. And there it is. It's really, really pretty. Really pretty. So I could have just done things from stash, and that is what I ended up doing. But when I ordered, so I bought the pattern, I picked out 2 colors from stash for the shawl, and then I was watching the Knitting Place podcast, and they were showing gorgeous yarns by Asylum Fibers, which I don't think I've had any Asylum Fibers before, and I thought, okay, I really want to support the Knitting Place, even though they are not really local to me, but I love their podcast and their aesthetic, and their Dinah and are really nice, and I just thought, okay, I'll just make an order there. So I bought a lot of yarn, and they gifted me the shawl pattern, even though I'd already bought it, so oh well. But I got all of these glorious colors from Asylum Fibers. So you can tell I'm in the mood for color. So these are really pretty. This pot pink is Bad Girl. This purpley gloriousness is Forbidden. This lovely sort of minty green is Sea Glass. And then this pinky sort of salmony color is I'm Alive. And they're really, really pretty. But what really caught my eye were all of these minis, because I'm obviously really into minis. So you can see how crazy bright those are. So there were 10 minis. I got all of those. And then there was one other skein of Asylum Fiber called Wildflower, which is so cool. So they were showing on the podcast a free pattern from Espace Tricot called Spring Fling, which is just a 1 skein shawl, I think. Is it 1 skein? 1 skein, then with 1 mini skein for this border and tassels. And it's stunning. Like everything that Espace Tricot does, it's fun, yet also classic and timeless. And so I thought I could pair this with this, or this, or this. I could really pair it with anything and have a really fun shawl that maybe would be a gift. So that is something on the possible list as well. Oh, I didn't show you my Breathe and Hope. Sorry. I knew there was something I was missing. So I am using these 2 really pretty colors. They're really, really fun. They go together. They're really bright. And the solid or tonal is Miss Babs Hot Shot in Violicious. And then this is the Yarn at Home Mom in her Hardy Sock in Spring Fling, and it is really, really a gorgeous mix of like lilac with some orange and red and yellow. It's just really, really fun. So I have a teeny tiny beginning of the shawl. That's really all I have right now. And it's doing this sort of kind of interesting textured pattern, and I'm not sure exactly what it's going to come out looking like, but it has a scrunchy, fun feel to it. And so far it's been a fun pattern to work on. So I don't know if that'll be for me or another gift, but that's what that is. Okay, so another Stashing the Joy purchase was I wanted to order some more of Farmer's Daughter Fibers in the Moon Sisters base because of the crazy gorgeous stellina, but online this looked really blue. It looked like a heathery sort of light kind of teal or robin's egg blue almost. It is very green. I am very much not a green person. I was very, very disappointed when it came and I saw how green it was. I had also ordered this Oh Dang from Farmer's Daughter Fibers, which is her Surrey base, Surrey alpaca, and this color is called Fugitive. And it is gorgeous and exactly what I was hoping, and beautiful. Interestingly, these are absolutely gorgeous together. I don't know if I will use them together, but there is a shawl pattern that someone was showing from Lisa Much, Northbound Knitting, that uses, I think, a fingering with sort of little flips of Surrey alpaca, or I'm not sure if she uses Surrey or what am I trying to think of? You know, the other floofy, like Kid Silk Haze. It'll come to me in a second. But anyway, mohair. That's what I was trying to think of, mohair. So I don't know if hers was designed with, which of those it was designed with. But actually, I think these are really stunning together. And I could see that maybe working out really well. And then my other purchase was from Magpie Fibers, and also the color kind of shocked me. So this is her Nest Worsted, which is her new worsted, which they had shown on Espace Tricot's podcast, and I fell madly in love with it. And this color is called, let's see, Nest Worsted in the Twilight Whisper color. And this is very dark, and it has like a purpley pinky undertone, and I love it. But online it looked much, much lighter and more pink than purple. And I really was surprised also when that came, and I had to go back and look at the website and try to figure out, did I get the wrong thing? Or so, you know, buyer beware. When we do spend a lot of money online on these purchases, we have to realize that the colors are really, really not the same in a lot of cases. And that was 2 things arriving within a week, where I questioned like what I was getting, because they were not things I thought I would have ordered. I'm much happier with the Magpie Fibers yarn. I think the more I've looked at it, and when I looked at the picture, even though the picture looks a ton lighter and very different, I can see. But I do not understand what happened with the Farmer's Daughter fiber. It looks so green, and I know I would never have ordered a green, and yet that is the color on the website, so I don't know. I also ordered some singles. I love singles from Magpie, and this is her solo fingering in Pretty in Pink and Siren Song, which is like a bluey jeans. It almost looks gray or black, but it is really blue, and it's really, really pretty. And I think just looking at those together, that would be a gorgeous shawl too, and colors I would definitely wear, so I love that. So we do have a winner for last month's giveaway. This is Evil Little Goat, who I think is no longer dying, and this is her Pinball Wizard, and it's just a really fun speckly pink. And I did ask Surrey to take, there were only 9 entries, so you had a really good shot of winning. And the winner was number 6, and that was Carol Morrison. So Carol, if you're watching, please make sure that you contact me. The easiest way is to leave me a message on Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram. I'm Rachely Book Girl, and you can comment below if you want to give me your email, and I can email you and we can exchange addresses. I mean, you can give me your address. You don't need my address. But I will get that out to you probably with a few little extra goodies. And Grace Edwards, who won the skein from the time before, so podcast number 18, has gotten in touch with me now, so I will send hers out to her hopefully sometime this week. So I've got a lot of sort of packaging and mailing. So Carol, congratulations. Send me your info, and hopefully I can get those out the same day. Okay, so that leaves me with other kinds of joy, and the only other kinds of joy right now, I just finished Harlan Coben's book, The Boy in the Woods. I should have had it right here, but I forgot to grab it. I am a Harlan Coben fan. They're fun, they're breezy. I like, his style of writing. It's not super intellectual. It's just a really great sort of, the characters are fun, they're well drawn, and the story keeps your interest from page 1 all the way to the end. It was a little disappointing because there was a tease in the story that did not get resolved, and I'm assuming he's going to use that line in a future book, and I was a little annoyed because I was so excited that I was going to find that out, and we did not find that out. And then finally, a TV show streaming service, the Prime Video on Amazon, has an original show called Upload. It's really funky and fun. I have thoroughly enjoyed it. There are 10. I've watched 9 so far, and I had to stop myself from watching the 10th yesterday so I could space it out a bit. Check it out if it's not your thing, no worries. It is about the future, and there has been a way to create a virtual afterlife that people can pay for and sign up for, and so you are sort of immortal but not alive. But it's very problematic, it's very consumer based, so you're constantly being asked to upgrade and buy things. For some reason it felt super timely to me. Obviously it had to have been created and filmed and all of that way before this pandemic, I'm assuming, but it just felt really timely because of the amount of time I'm spending using technology, isolated from other people, only seeing them through screens. It just resonated a lot with me right now, and it's fun entertainment. So I would highly recommend Upload on Amazon Prime. Until next time, find the joy wherever you can find it. Happy Mother's Day again to all the moms out there. Keep knitting. I know my knitting is bringing me a ridiculous amount of joy right now, and I am enormously grateful for that. I may be taking a dive again into English paper piecing. I have been ordering some things and looking at some videos, and so that might be something that shows up in the future, but who knows? I'm not going to put pressure on myself with crafting because there's a whole heck of a lot of pressure going around right now, and crafting is joy. So have a great month. If I don't see you until June, gosh, where is the time going? I cannot believe we're in May. Happy everything. Stay safe, stay home if you can, and take care of yourself and everyone you love.